We humans are very different today from those who looked at the sky thousands of years ago and considered lightning to be the punishment of the gods. It seems that all the phenomena of nature today have been studied far and wide and were explained scientifically. But in fact, there are many phenomena that make scientists throw their hands up and put forward hypotheses that still don't answer all the questions. In this video, we will tell you about the most outstanding of them. And the first thing we wanted to tell you about is bright flashes in the sky that occur after an earthquake. The fact is that in many places of seismic activity, bright lights appear in the sky, resembling the aurora borealis. For example, they were visible in the sky over Mexico during the strongest earthquake of magnitude 8.2 on September 8, 2017. A year prior, during an earthquake of magnitude 7.8 in New Zealand, people also recorded a similar phenomenon. This is a rather rare phenomenon. A total of 65 such cases have been recorded since 1600. Today, scientists assume that earthquake lights are caused by highly charged atoms, which, when interacting with the atmosphere, form a light-emitting plasma. But so far, this is nothing more than an assumption. It's as reliable as the version about the tricks of UFOs. Unexplained phenomena occur not only on Earth but also beyond. For example, a huge storm, double the size of Earth, at the North Pole of the gas giant Saturn has a very strange hexagonal shape. It was seen for the first time on a number of images transmitted by the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft, but no serious research followed. Interest in the giant hexagon arose after the transfer of its images by NASA's Cassini spacecraft, which has been photographing this storm for years. If we consider that the time of the first testimony was at the end of the 70s of the last century, it is clear that this phenomenon is very stable. The only phenomenon in nature that has a similar hexagonal shape is crystals. This leads to a dead end. The fact that every few years the storm changes its color adds to the mystery. It takes on a turquoise hue one moment, then turns yellowish the next. And now let's go back to Earth to see another unusual phenomenon, stone balls or petrospheres of Costa Rica. The fact is that in the delta of the Diquís River on the Pacific coast, someone scattered about 300 stone balls. The diameter of one ball can reach up to 8 feet and its weight can be up to 22 tons. The stone spheres of Costa Rica were discovered by employees of the United Fruit Company when they were clearing land for banana plantations. Scientists call them concretions, but they still cannot model the mechanism of their formation, so the spheres of the gods remain a mystery for now. Costa Rica is not the only place where such balls are found. They were found in the Balkhash region in Kazakhstan, in the Moon Valley in Argentina, the Gulu region in southwestern China, as well as in Kettle Point on Lake Huron in Canada. They were also encountered in Rock City National Park in Kansas, on Bowling Balls Beach in California, and in Shale Hollow Park in Ohio, USA, and in many other places as well. Next on the list is an unusual atmospheric phenomenon that astronomers have called dunes. At the beginning of 2020, Finnish researchers discovered an unknown type of aurora polaris. Its shape resembles luminous waves and doesn't fit any of the known categories of atmospheric luminescence. This part of the atmosphere, as scientists note, has hardly been studied before, since it is extremely difficult to monitor this area. Therefore, it's impossible to determine what causes this phenomenon exactly. Another mystery is the anomalous sound phenomena in nature. This is how scientists decided to call the constant or periodic low-frequency noise that people sometimes hear. The most famous of them is the Taos hum. In the southwestern United States, in the state of New Mexico, there is a town of Taos. Many of its residents hear a low-frequency noise or hum coming from the desert. Its source is still unknown. The sound resembles the movement of heavy machinery along the highway, although there are no major roads in the area. Another unusual fact is that it's heard mainly only by locals and very rarely by visitors. Another inexplicable sound is the hum of the earth. It has many other names, like the screech of the earth, the howl of the earth, and the sound of the apocalypse. Unlike the first one, it can be easily recorded by the equipment and heard by people. It was first heard in August 2011, then in 2012. At the beginning of 2013, it was heard in Brazil, the USA, Canada, Russia, Ukraine, Australia, Europe, and Asia. The largest wave of this phenomenon enveloped the planet from January 9 to 12, 2012. During these days, news channels were simply bursting with reports about the mysterious hum of the Earth coming from different parts of the planet. Amateur audio and video recordings were made on all continents. But in fact, the hum of the Earth has been known since ancient times. There are references to some crack of doom in both the Bible and the Quran. The next unexplained miracle of nature is the dancing forest. This is a small area of coniferous forest in the Kaliningrad region of Russia, in which the trees for some reason decided to grow with curved trunks. The forest was planted in 1961 to stabilize the sands of the Curonian Spit. Scientists can't find the reason for such strange behavior of trees in this particular place yet. There are several versions. One of them is that the anomaly could have been caused by strong winds or soil instability. Another one is related to the damage to young pine trees by butterfly caterpillars, which ate all the apical buds, leaving only the lateral ones. It seems like this caused the deformation. It's not much of an explanation, isn't it? Next on our list are light explosions in the Earth's atmosphere. An ultraviolet telescope mounted on the Russian Lomonosov satellite has recorded an unexplained atmospheric phenomenon. Bright flashes of light suddenly appeared in the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of several tens of kilometers. No thunderstorms, clouds, the powerful explosions came out of nowhere. What causes the explosion is an open question, said Mikhail Panasuk, director of the Research Institute of Nuclear Physics at Moscow State University. The researcher also added that bursts of ultraviolet radiation are constantly occurring in the Earth's atmosphere, and scientists still have no idea about the nature of most of them. And who hasn't heard of ball lightning? Some people even saw them. But, nevertheless, this familiar, though rare, phenomenon still doesn't have an exact scientific explanation. We know that these fireballs sometimes occur during or after a thunderstorm. It's assumed that Nikola Tesla created a ball of lightning in his laboratory, at least in 1904. He wrote that he had never seen fireballs, but he managed to determine their formation and recreate them artificially. But modern scientists found this task too much for them. There are even those who reduce ball lightning to hallucinations. Although the evidence and video sources confirm its existence, scientists claim that the temperature of ball lightning can reach up to 1832 degrees Fahrenheit. But the mystery is that a person may not feel any heat standing next to it. The behavior of ball lightning also defies scientific explanation. They can easily get through an outlet or the slightest cracks in houses and apartments, changing their shape on their way. Its path is also impossible to predict. And finally, a couple of the most familiar things in our life. The first, known to us for thousands of years, but at the same time, inexplicable. We are talking about glass. The famous researcher, Nobel laureate in physics Warren Anderson once said, "The deepest and most interesting of the unresolved problems in the theory of the solid state lies in the nature of glass." And he's right, because scientists still don't understand the reason for its unique mechanical properties. We remember from school textbooks that it is a liquid, but is that so? The fact is that scientists cannot explain what is the nature of the transition between the liquid, solid, and vitreous phases, and figure out what physical processes give glass its basic properties. No modern physical tools from solid-state physics, as well as multiparticle theory or the theory of liquids, don't work with glass. We know that liquid molten glass, as it cools, gradually becomes more viscous until it completely solidifies. And during the formation of crystalline solids from a liquid substance, the formation of stable structures occurs simultaneously. It turns out that the behavior of glass cannot be described by equilibrium statistical mechanics, and this is its main mystery. And here is another seemingly everyday, but at the same time inexplicable thing. Paradoxically, hot water freezes faster than cold water, so the ice rinks are covered with hot water. Although this contradicts the first principle of thermodynamics. In physics, this phenomenon is called the Mpemba Effect. Why? Because in 1963, a schoolboy puzzled his teacher with the question of why a heated liquid freezes faster than a cold one. The teacher waved off the intrusive student, saying that this is not world physics, but Mpemba physics. When the schoolboy Erasto became a university student, he didn't forget about his question and later asked it at a lecture by the English physicist Dennis Osborne, who came to Dar es Salaam, the largest university in Tanzania. Unlike school teachers, Osborne did not laugh at the inquiring student but conducted a number of experiments with him, and in 1969, together with Erasto, published an article in the Physics Education Journal where this phenomenon was called the Mpemba Effect, although Aristotle and Francis Bacon reflected upon it before. No scientifically based explanation of this phenomenon has yet been found. In 2012, the British Chemical Society even announced a competition for the best explanation of the Mpemba effect. It is what it is. These things seem simple, but we can't explain them. Like, in fact, electric current. No one still knows what it is, but everyone uses it. But more on that in another video. And now let me know in the comments which phenomenon has raised the most questions in your head. And don't forget to leave a like. This way you'll let us know whether you like such videos or not. See you on the Subversion channel.